Thank you so much for tuning into the trade setup. I'm Neeraj Shah. Wall Street witnessed stocks climb on speculations that the Federal Reserve will take a break from policy tightening in today evening's decision or tomorrow as the decision, and we'll talk about it tomorrow, of course, after a slowdown in inflation. Doesn't mean that investors are now betting that the Fed is done with its interest rate hikes, but for now, the odds move from a June to a July, and that's the key thing. Now, the US stocks, as a result of that, did reasonably okay. 0.5% up for the Dow, about 0.83% for the Nasdaq. So going is good. The other cues would be steady. Maybe the yields have come off a little bit now, 3.8. So no big changes there in the other cues for sure. The global news flow, though, is interesting. Like I said, US inflation fell to the lowest since March 2021. Europe gas futures jumped 15% as Norway outages squeeze supply, but that could be a temporary situation, hopefully. BlackRock's Japan ETF pulls in $1 billion as Nikkei rally powers on. Frankly, Japan has been the market to go to when it comes to Asian screen. Not India, not Indonesia, not Kospi. Relative to all of these, the Japanese markets are right up there. And Accenture is investing $3 billion in AI, doubling AI staff to 80,000. That just shows the the move that global giants are making towards artificial intelligence. For anybody who's fairly young out here, still trying to make a career, I was told by multiple employers that the way Excel, knowledge of Excel and PowerPoint differentiated people back in 2000 between two candidates, AI is now that. So try and learn AI. Nevertheless, the SGX Nifty, no, we haven't still, let's just mark the SGX Nifty once, about 0.25% higher. So that's the mark there. And now the trade setup. Yesterday, the interesting piece was from all the other data points that I saw very strong put writing additions in the 18,700 strike in trade yesterday. I think the support is still 18,600, maximum concentration, so on and so forth. But very strong additions done at 18,700 too. Just shows the confidence of the option writers in the defense of the lower levels on the index. So that's to be kept in mind. Bank Nifty is not as strong as the Nifty, and which is I'm just bringing the Nifty uptick currently, or the data point currently. The pace of real estate sales keeps real estate ancillaries, I believe, firmly in play for an earnings momentum. We know that real estate is doing well. Yesterday, too, the index was up about 3%. And there's a very interesting note at the end of today's trade setup on one more real estate stock. But I think what this does is makes real estate ancillaries firmly in play. So do watch out for those. And Capex plays seeing continuous upgrades, and the lower valuation stocks are likely to come to the party. Yeah, and yesterday we had a very interesting conversation with Siddharth Bhaiya, wherein he corrected me on air by saying that as per their math, while the ABBs and the Siemens of the world are expensive, the others, starting from Larsen and Toubro to the KEC Internationals to the Kalpataru Powers and everybody else related in this Capex play, are not necessarily as expensive. So you got to pick and choose. You can actually get some well-priced Capex plays as well in the current market scenario. So interesting conversation. I should hear that, but I just believe that the Capex plays, it takes a lot for a UBS to up a target price for a ABB, which is already trading northwards of 60, 65, 70 times, to 5,000 from the current 4,200. And this after ABB has rallied from 3,200 to 4,100 in a period of 3 months or 4 months at best. Actually, not even 4 months, less than 3 months. So that's the nature of the beast currently. The EBITDA uptick that might come into some of the Capex plays. And I'm not pointing out ones, I have no idea which stock EBITDA plays will come up. But I'm just saying in some of these companies, the EBITDA upticks will be so sharp that people will then scurry for trying to get a piece of this. And, there is telltale evidence of Capex out there. I mean, from private players to the government Capex to railways, it's just out there, the capacity expansion that is happening. Quite phenomenal, really, what's happening in the country currently on the capital expenditure front. Flows are okay. Foreign investors bought about 1,677 crores, and DI sold about 203 crores. I'm making this mistake. It happened in the podcast as well. By the way, for all of you who want to catch in a slightly earlier version of the trade setup, me and my colleague Alex do a podcast. You might want to tune in for that as well. Here are the stocks to monitor. Now, I start off with a disclaimer that in Texmaco, there is not an exchange announcement. So I urge, let's just move away from this plate first for a minute, please. I urge everybody to do their own due diligence. We've received this from people who track this company very closely. It's not there on the exchanges as yet. So I urge you to do your own due diligence. This is not an official exchange announcement. We've contacted the company. We're waiting for the company to revert back. But presumably the news is this, that Railways has decided to cancel the second tranche of wagon order given to Texmaco Rail of 3345 wagons. This is done at the behest of the company, by the way. It's not that they've underperformed or whatever, but they believe that what if they cannot quite go out and complete the order, I believe. And that's why this is presumably been done. And the belief is that it will be or could be distributed amongst the other suppliers depending on their performance. So that's the word on Texmaco. Now, just keep in mind, viewers, these stocks may react today because this news is out there. Everybody's kind of talking about it. I repeat, there is no exchange announcement. We do not have independent confirmation of the same. We have written to the company and are awaiting a confirmation from the company. So please do your own due diligence if you are following this announcement. But trust me, to be a responsible journalist, I wouldn't have done this if I didn't have it from proper sources. So bear that in mind. Then official announcements, Anupam Rasayan, they've inked a letter of intent worth 2,186 crores to supply active ingredients to a Japanese specialty chemical company. This is spread over 5 years, but watch out for Anupam Rasayan. It's a large enough order from the looks of it. It's not a cheap stock. Remember, 2 days ago, Jefferies came out with a note and said that Anupam Rasayan believes they will triple their revenues in 5 years' time, if I'm not wrong. But it's an expensive stock, so bear that in mind. Then Zydus, the inspection of Zydus, the injectables facility in Ahmedabad of the company, has ended with nil observations, and therefore the stock could be active today. KEC International could be active today. Company secured new orders worth 1,373 crore rupees to across its railways, civil, transmission and distribution, and cables businesses. So do watch out for this as well. I haven't given Vodafone, but there's an ET report which says that Vodafone plans a 14,000 crore infusion as planned as part of its revival plan. Now, if this were to happen, then Vodafone is in focus. I believe Industars also comes in focus. So do watch out for both of these stocks in the session today. Some of the largest 5-day increases in open interest is interesting data. Look at these stocks. So IPCA down about 2% in the last 5 days, OI up 31% over the last 5 days. Naveen Fluorine down 1.4%, OI up 31%. IEX down 14%, OI up 29%. And Balrampur Chini Mills, that's up 2.3% in the last 5 days, OI up 29%. Look at the kind of buildup that's happened in a sugar mill versus some of the others and the kind of shorts that are getting piled on there. Some pretty interesting data that is coming. Yeah, the first stock is not Big Slab, but it collapsed. Thanks for that. Then some insider trades. LG Balakrishna Brothers promoter Nitin Karivardhan sold 16,650 shares on June 12th. Greaves Cotton promoter Karun Carpets bought about 1.15 lakh shares. NRB Bearings promoter group Assis Zaveri bought about 33,000 shares, and 5 Paisa Capital Venkat Rajamani. R Venkat is very popular television name as well. Bought about 5,000 shares on June 12th. Some bulk deals from SocGen thought should bring them to you. Nazara, SocGen sold about 4 lakh shares. Bajaj Electrical, SocGen bought about 6 lakh shares. And Small Cap World Fund sold about 10.92 lakh shares. And Capacite Infra, SocGen bought about 24 lakh shares. So these are the 2-3 names that might be interesting from bulk deals. And, there's also a bulk deal on Z, wherein I think Plutus Wealth Management has bought some shares yesterday. So 7.5 lakh shares, if I'm not wrong. To watch out for that. And like I said, I'll end with a very interesting note from the Motilal Oswal stable on a real estate stock, which is Oberoi Realty. They have a buy rating. The target price is 1140, which is about a 16% upside. The thing is, they say there are nearly 12,000 crores of launches in FY24 will drive pre-sales growth for the company. They say the company's annuity rentals are projected to surge to 1,200 crores by FY26 from 300 crores in FY23. 4x jump in annuity business, which is very commendable. Motilal Oswal believes that strong cash generation will allow the company to look for aggressive business development opportunities. They're pursuing something in Gurgaon. They're pursuing something in Bengaluru as well. So lots happening in the Oberoi stable, and therefore should be watched out for. Soda ash prices have come off, and maybe Jyoti Labs could be in focus as a result of that. There's a CCA meet at 10:30 a.m. today, so that is to be watched out for as well. Yeah, Rajesh Exports. Now let's move on from this. Rajesh Exports has failed to file the auditor report, and therefore that stock could be maybe a bit of a concern. So that's to be watched out for as well. Yep, but that's the long and short of what I have figured out largely in the session today. Is there something else? Yeah, Dampur has completed expansion of its distillery capacity. So that's to be watched out for as well. And yep, that's about it. I think that's about the stocks that I believe are in focus. Just watch out for the mid cap space. I mean, yesterday too, a clutch of names going up 15-16%, some without reason. So there's a bit of according to me, a scare element coming in. So bear that in mind. Interesting pockets or interesting conversations lined up today on BQ Prime, of course, at 10 a.m. and Jay Kumar. Okay, on Trade Talk, Santosh Rao will talk about the FOMC meet and the inflation easing. So that could be an interesting conversation. More importantly, talking point, and Jay Kumar of Prime Securities to put everything into perspective around markets. And then Enoch Ventures, Vijay Chopra on stocks in focus. APL Apollo's Deepak Goel Johnson to talk about the recent run-up in the stock and the business outlook thereof. And of course, the mutual fund show with Shalin Dhawan and Santosh Joseph could be an interesting one too. Thanks so much for tuning in, viewers, to the Trade Setup. Have a wonderful day ahead.